How we doing today, guys? Welcome to another episode of Cooking with OBG. Today we're going to be making beer cheese. Our beer cheese goes with our pork rinds, and some people throw it on the burgers, some people throw with the French fries. It goes on our loaded fries and everything else like that. So first we're going to start out with sweating your onions. You need 1 whole onion, 2 things of Guinness beer, 1 gallon of milk, 2 pounds of Gouda, and 1 pound of Velveeta, 5 ounces of butter, and a little bit dash of our special seasoning. You know we always gotta have a special seasoning. So right now I'm getting the onions sweating. You don't wanna cook them too fast though. You wanna let them sweat till they're translucent. As they start sweating, you'll add the butter. And then we'll cook those down until they're translucent in color and everything. Which translucent means? It means you can see through it a little bit. So we get that moving around, get that started. All right. Then here I got my smoked Gouda, which is 2 pounds of it, and then Velveeta, which is another 2 pounds, and you got the whole gallon of milk. And I like using Guinness beer because you got a more deep flavor with it and everything else like that. It gives that stout beer flavor to it. And you can use any Guinness you want. Anything that's a stout beer that's really good. It don't have to be Guinness. You can use something different. But Guinness is one I like using. Has more flavor to it. So I see my onions are they're cooking now. And while you're cooking the onions, I like to add a little seasoning to it, just a little dash. All right, we got some little cooking right there. Well, while that's cooking, when it's translucent, then we're gonna add the beer. We're gonna deuce that down a little bit. Then we're gonna add our milk. When our milk comes to a boil or simmer, we're gonna start slowly adding the cheese. We're gonna melt it with it. And then we're gonna add emulsifier to blend it all up, make it nice and smooth. Oh, look at that aroma. That aroma smells so good. Oh man. And you can use a whisk, you use a spoon, a slotted spoon, you can use a rubber spatula. I like using a whisk because it just mixes around and everything else. It's easy to use and everything. That smell, oh, I love it. So good. Now you can use any milk. I like using, which is called the red one. There's a red one and a blue one. I like using the red one. It's a little bit better flavor to it. The 2%, the blue one, it's a little thin for it, but I like this. It's a lot better. Gives that creaminess to it. There we go. And I prefer red onions. Red onions have a better flavor to them. Just something about red onions and barbecue just goes together. And red onions and just making stuff, it goes really good together. So now, we'll bring that to a boil, reduce it down just a little bit. Right now, I add a dash more seasoning to it. There we go. And our beer cheese is one of our top sellers too, because it's delicious. People love it with the pork rinds. The pork rinds, you come in, you get the pork rinds, sit down, get a little pork rinds with it, and man, it's good. It's good when you dip the pork rinds in there. And it also comes in our loaded fries. We have barbecue loaded fries. We got beer cheese, meat, barbecue sauce. Oh, so much good flavor. So we'll whisk it around. That to a boil and a simmer. Yep. All right, we slowly add the cheese in there. Slowly but surely while it's boiling. Stir it up as we go. Stir it up a little bit. Add some more. And a quick way you can do it, you can add all the cheese and blend it up and everything else like that. Yeah, just add that. A little bit of Gouda, a little bit of Velveeta. We'll stir it up a little bit. So I'm gonna add the rest of this in there. And I'm gonna use a blender too, show you guys how to use a blender with it. All right, we'll just add that in there, like so. Leave a couple pieces behind just in case, but you're gonna need it all, and just take it. And after you get it blended up, you'll let it simmer for a little bit longer, and they'll be ready to go. So we'll blend that up. And you can use any blender. I like using blender. You can get it at Walmart, anywhere. It's just a emulsifier blender that works really, really well. Right. You're getting nice and smooth now. And also, you don't want your flame too high. If you get your flame too high, you're gonna burn that. You're gonna burn the milk and the cheese, which basically burning the proteins out of it, and you don't want to do that. So you want to keep your temperature at, if it's about halfway, 5 or 6 at the most. That way you're not rushing it. A lot of people do roux to make cheese sauce or beer cheese. I don't like doing. I like getting that rich flavor when you let it reduce down. So now we got it all nice and smooth. Everything's all blended up. All right. So now we take that out. All right, we're gonna set this down right here and get your whisk. Right now it seems like a little thin, but as it reduces down, it'll get nice and thick. All right, we'll let that simmer for a little bit and reduce down, and it'll be ready to go, ready to serve. And like I said, we put it, pork rinds, loaded fries. You can put it on top of a burger. It's delicious, I'm telling you, so good. Finger licking good. And like I always say, don't bite your finger. But yeah, we'll let this reduce down a little bit longer. As you can see, it's getting there. And I don't add any salt, just pepper, a little bit of grain chilies, and that's about it. Add that in there. for a little bit more extra flavor, but that smoked Gouda and that Velveeta has enough salt in it to have that salt consistency. And also you have the beer too, so it has a little salt in it too, so you'll be good to go. You don't add no salt whatsoever. Right. Just check it here and on out, stir it up. There you go. Yeah, there we go. We're starting to get a little thicker now. Let's get a little taste of it. Ooh-wee. Man, that's some good stuff right there. Thank you guys for coming and joining us for another episode of Cooking with OBG. Our address is 915 Central Avenue. We've got some of the best barbecue in Hot Springs. Like I always say, don't bite your finger. Boom, 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 boom.